Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope for Saturday of the 12th week in Ordinary Time. I am Father Jim Marchionda, coming to you this week from Southern California, where I am visiting family and friends for a couple of weeks. I'm going to follow along the theme that Brother Joe set the last couple of days, dealing with the first reading from the book of Genesis. It's the story of Abraham and Sarah. And in today's reading, we have a tremendous example of extreme generosity. Generosity on the part of God in telling Abraham and Sarah that even in their old age, they are going to bear a son. Generosity that goes beyond what is natural, what we seem to think is normal. And it comes from, and in the context of Abraham's own generosity in this reading from Genesis. It turns out that Abraham is outside his tent when three men are walking by in the midday heat. And it says, when he saw them, he ran from the entrance of his tent to greet them. And bowing to the ground, he said, "If I may ask you this favor, please do not go on past your servant. Let some water be brought, that you may bathe your feet, and then rest yourselves under the tree. And now that you have come this close to your servant, let me bring you a little food, that you may refresh yourselves." No indication at all that Abraham knew who these people were. And yet Abraham went out of his way to be generous. They did not knock on Abraham's door. They did not ask for refreshment because of the heat. Abraham, on his own accord, went out of his way. And then it says a little later, and he served them the meal himself. I'm struck by the example of extraordinary generosity. You're all generous. You all give of yourselves in so many ways. You've been so generous to the Dominicans, and I know many of you well, and I know how generous you are outside of yourselves. You're exactly what this reading is trying to teach us today. Not just generosity, not just responding generously when someone asks, but going out of your way to find those who need you. Exaggerated generosity, extreme generosity, extraordinary generosity, where you give not only when you are asked, but you actually seek out those who need you, and you respond most generously to them, just as God always responds to you. May we hear this message today and continue to act on it. God bless you.